Okay, everybody, we decided to take this week off, so here's one of our classic episodes. Hope you enjoy. Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'm your host, Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Haas, if I can call myself beautiful and majestic without sounding arrogant.
I'll tell you what, Matt. I will call you beautiful, majestic,
Okay.
and a national treasure.
Okay. Whoa.
You're like a Nicolas Cage.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Okay. Anyways, today we're going into one of our weird, crazy episodes. We're covering crazy music conspiracy theories. Wow.
We're gonna blow your minds tonight.
Okay. I got a few here that we're gonna go over really quick. I'll start with the first one. Everybody?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney is dead!
I mean, he might almost be.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting old. Anyways, okay, so this is a theory that started back in the 60s. Paul McCartney, perhaps one of the most famous music conspiracy theories of all time, is that Sir Paul McCartney of, the Beatles and Wings fame died in a traffic accident in 1966 and was replaced by a lookalike. Okay. The theory is supported, quote-unquote, by several clues left by the Beatles in their music. For example, many believe the words, "I buried Paul," are spoken by John Lennon at the end of Strawberry Fields. Lennon insists that he says cranberry sauce. I buried Paul, cranberry sauce.
I mean, there's a bunch of flute music in the background, so it's kind of hard to,
Yeah.
tell. But
And the cover of Abbey Road supposedly represents a funeral procession with Paul McCartney playing the role of the deceased. The fact that he's wearing no shoes is what is the evidence of this, because when you're buried, you don't wear shoes.
yeah, because every funeral I've been to, the person in the casket is shoeless.
Oh, actually, you only see the top half of the person.
Oh.
When you're at a funeral, they only open up the top half of it, so you never see their
feet. You might
feet.
be able to get a little angle somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, but actually, it is most of the time they do bury people without shoes.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just because you're
makes
not
no
you're not
sense.
seeing them, so it's a waste of shoes.
Well, by that logic, they should just not even have a full suit. They should just cut it down.
Sometimes they do that.
Are
I
you
think.
kidding
Yeah,
me? Oh my
the suits
God.
are usually cut in the back too to put them on.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's messed up.
Yeah. Anyways,
I did not know that.
yeah, because most of the time the suits are cut all the way down the back.
Anything to save a buck.
Well, that's usually just so they can dress them because it's easier to get it on the body. Because when you're dressing somebody else, it's kind of hard to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
And
You sure know a lot about mortician stuff.
well, my uncle Dave, who not really my uncle, but he used to work at a mortuary.
Oh, okay.
So I think he might still do that. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in years, but when I was growing up, he was my dad's best friend, and so I always called him Uncle Dave. And he worked at a funeral home, and so I knew some of these things. He would tell me crazy stories about how like sometimes he'd be in there late at night and a body would actually sit up on its own.
Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah. So,
No way, I could not do that.
yeah, I know. But okay, so yeah, supposedly that represents a funeral, and I guess holding up a mirror to the drum on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album cover reveals, it says, one by one he die, one by one, is what it says when you hold the mirror up to it. I don't know what that means, but anyway, some people think that seems to mean that he is supposedly. I mean, I've read more into this theory, and it seems that there's like there was this lookalike who won a Paul McCartney lookalike contest. This guy from England who was named Billy Shears, which is also in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. There's a part of one of the songs that says at the end of with a little help from your friends. It says Billy Shears, and then yeah, that's what they sing, and supposedly that's another clue to it. But there is fact that there was a guy named Billy Shears who actually did win a lookalike contest, but there's not much information about him after that fact. So it kind of gives you this whole theory that maybe Paul did die, and the guy that we've been calling Paul McCartney since 1966 is really Billy Shears.
Oh, I have a question about that though.
Okay.
So if excuse me, if Paul died, and then they got someone to look like Paul play with them, and they wanted the people to believe that it was Paul, why would they then put in these little clues to say that Paul had died? It seems kind of contradictory.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's
why
like,
would you give
both
clues?
Sides of your mouth, like,
unless it's just kind of their like fuck you to the audience and be like, hey, we know what's going on, but we're gonna give little clues to it. And...
Or maybe the management made them do it, and this is their way of like sneaking messages to the fans, like, we can't tell you, directly what's happening, but because they're watching us, type of thing. So we're gonna send you like little coded messages. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can.
But basically, that would mean like from 1966 until present day, everything that Paul McCartney's recorded wasn't really recorded. So like all of Wings.
So he's
music.
a lookalike who's also a musical genius at the same time.
Yeah,
that guy really lucked out.
I mean, like Live and Let Die and all these other things that he's recorded since then. I mean, maybe that's true. Live and Let Die. It's a little clue here.
The real Paul McCartney only contributed to like 2 of the first Beatles albums,
and then after that died. And
but those
they happened to find a lookalike who was a musical genius.
Right, and all those songs are better than the songs that the real Paul McCartney helped write. Because really, Sgt. Pepper is like the first Beatles record that really got serious. I mean, there's some good songs before that. But
I think Rubber Soul is where they changed, where they started to get, because I mean, I have a theory here, and I don't know if it's true, but the song Norwegian Wood, which is on that album, is all about somebody lighting a room on fire and killing the girl that he just slept with.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's my theory, because, it says, when they go in there, it's like, we lit a fire, isn't it good, Norwegian wood? And then at one point they say the room was made of Norwegian wood in the song, and then when he leaves, it's like, he says again, I lit a fire, wasn't it good, Norwegian wood, and blah, blah, blah. And I think he burned her to death.
Why? Why would he kill someone?
I don't know, but that's my theory about that song. I think the whole song is about a dude who goes and has like a... He sleeps in the bath and all this other stuff.
Well, there is a song that they have where they're talking about like a serial killer, actually. I don't know if it's that one. So they have done really like very dark.
But I mean, Norwegian Wood sounds like a nice little like love song with a girl and stuff. But I think it's all about him murdering her.
Maybe she was like a Russian spy or something, and then he killed her after sleeping with. I don't know. It seems pretty bad.
She couldn't collude with Donald Trump later.
Yes. Yes. Like a 16-year-old Donald Trump at that time. Yes.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know.
So
or Norwegian spy. I don't know.
Yeah. So basically that's that theory. I'll let you cover the next one here. It's
the Avril Lavigne one.
Yes.
Okay, so this one.
Oh yeah. First off, though, what do you think about that theory? Do you think it could be true?
What, the Paul McCartney
Yeah.
is dead? I don't know. I mean, I don't want it to be true, for one thing, because that would mean that, all these years, someone who's not even Paul McCartney wrote all these great songs for the Beatles and for Wings
and doesn't get credit.
And doesn't get credit for any of it, and he has to live this life. I mean, granted, he's making lots of money, and he gets he got married and stuff like that, or whatever, and has kids, but how would it? I mean, how would that work out for him? Like actually talking to his real family. Like how would he spend time with his real? You know what I mean? Like would he have to pretend?
Unless he was
Paul
completely
McCartney?
like unattached to anybody in his life
that's the only thing
whatsoever.
I think of. Maybe he was like a dock worker who just jumped ship somewhere and has no connections to anyone and just
has no mom, dad, or brothers or sisters, or
it's no problem to take on a completely different persona. I don't know. I don't think it's true. I don't think any of these theories are true. They're interesting, but I don't think they're true. But
on a scale of 1 to 10, I think that this is maybe a 2. Yeah, that's just my guess. Okay, so what's the next one here?
This one is Avril Lavigne is also dead. Just a quick hint here: most of these have to do with them being dead. So, or dead, or pretending to be dead,
or something of that nature.
So this one has quite a few different sub theories within the main theory. The main one is that Avril Lavigne died sometime shortly after her 2002 album came out. I'm not sure what it's called. The one that had Skater Boy on it. And then shortly thereafter, someone named Melissa, I forgot her last name, Melissa
Vandella
basically took her place to be Avril. And she learned her songs, she learned her voice and how she, her style and everything over time. And then the theory goes is that the way that there's evidence for the theory is that over time, because this doesn't happen in real life, when you're 17 years old in 2002 and in 2018, you slightly change in how you look in your physical appearance, and how your voice might change a little bit, and also your interest might change a little bit in a 16-year time span. That doesn't happen when you're 17 years old and now like 34. That doesn't happen. So that's proof that this is a different person named Melissa and not Avril Lavigne, because people don't change ever in 16 years. They don't change their styles and taste. Whatever. Okay, so one of the theories is that Avril used to be kind of like a tomboy. I mean, I don't know if anyone uses that phrase anymore, but that's basically like you're kind of like a girl who dresses like what would be stereotypically like boy clothes, like jeans or just t-shirts or whatever. Don't really wear makeup. Kind of like
that was kind of the fashion sense at the time,
well,
though.
It was,
so
though.
yeah,
I mean, but I'm saying that was kind of her style. I think in Skater Boy she was playing basketball, which a girl can't play basketball without somehow
tell
being
that to the
tomboy.
LA Sparks or something.
Yeah, I know, or anything like that. But the theory goes is that now over time, since starting around like 2009 or 2010, Avril has been experimenting more with like expressing like femininity and stuff like that, and because she wasn't doing that in 2002 and started doing that in 2010, that proves that it's not really Avril Lavigne and it's somebody else. I mean, a lot of these hinge on very flimsy type of logic like that.
Yeah, like I'm reading here that there's a song called "Nobody's Home" that's one of her songs that supposedly has clues to it.
Oh yeah.
That it's actually this Melissa chick singing these songs, and it says the lyrics is she wants to go home, but nobody's home. It's where she lies, broken inside, with no place to go, no place to go to dry her eyes. Broken inside, she's fallen from grace. She's all over the place. And then there's another song called "Slipped Away."
Oh yeah, that one.
Where Vandella's singing about the real Lavigne's death, and she says it wasn't fake. It happened. You passed by. No, you are gone. Now you are gone. There you go. There you go. Somewhere I can't bring you back. And then there's a song called "My Happy Ending" where other clues are there where it says, "Don't leave me hanging in a city so dead. Help us so high on such a breakable thread." I don't know how any of these things mean that she's dead. I guess if you read into them,
the Nobody's Home is the only one that's closest to that, and that I think someone said that was like Melissa wanting to reveal that she's actually Melissa, but she can't. So she's like stuck in this persona that she can't tell the world that she's actually this other person, and she has to pretend to be an Avril, and that's why slowly over time she's been transitioning into her own persona bit by bit, so that the fans or people wouldn't notice as much, so that eventually she'll be able to be herself while still calling herself Avril. It's a very wild.
It's funny. There's even I'm reading here too. This is really funny to me. There's a Facebook page for Melissa Vandella that appears to have been set up by a Brazilian person. The page gives her home as Brooklyn, New York. And among the stranger pieces of information on the page is an allegation that Vandella is in a relationship with Superbad star Christopher Mintz-Plasse, a.k.a. McLovin. Yeah.
Wow. So that's interesting. Oh, by the way, I think there's one sub-theory that she's actually a clone of Avril Lavigne, which, Avril Lavigne would had to been like 1 year old or less than that when her family cloned her, and no one really knew about this supposed technology that the Raelians had, unless you were already part of that cult to begin with, or you had lots of money or fame or both. And I don't think her family was wealthy or like famous, so I'm not sure how they would have access to the Raelians and just be able to get her cloned at like 6 months old. But whatever, that's one theory, is that she's actually a clone and that the real Avril died like in 2003 or something. And
I've read other things. I don't know. I can't find the page that I had found this on, but they had talked about that. I guess supposedly she does have the name Melissa tattooed on her somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And then there's other things where I guess she did have somebody that worked for her named Melissa Vandella or something, and supposedly Melissa looked enough like her that she would actually pose as her from time to time.
Yeah, like when the paparazzi were bothering her.
Yeah, and she
would
wanted
just
to
go
hide.
out.
Yeah, supposedly, I don't know if any of that's true, but I guess it is possibly true.
That's part of the theory. Yeah, is that sometimes she didn't want to have to deal with people asking for pictures or whatever, autographs. So
people have body doubles all the time. I mean, usually it's like dictators, like Saddam Hussein or Adolf Hitler or other people had lookalikes, but it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy.
And for Avril Lavigne, she's not like a dictator of some failed state or something like that.
I mean, maybe she's a dictator of Brazil because all this stuff seems to be coming from Brazil.
Maybe she is.
And I just didn't find out about this.
So that's all I have for that. That one's interesting, but there's not a lot of to go off of on that
again, I give this maybe a 2 out of 10 of possibilities.
I'll give it a negative 2 out of 3 out of 10.
Okay, the next one is a crazy one.
For interesting
for several reasons. Anyways, okay, so Kanye West is the star man from David Bowie's song. Okay, hold on tight, people. The idea here is that David Bowie's mention of Starman waiting in the sky, who'd love to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds, is actually referring to Kanye West. Despite not being born at the time of the song's release, the internet is full of evidence that can be found on the cover of his Ziggy Stardust album, which shows Bowie standing underneath a sign that reads K. West, which and the first track of the album is 5 years, is considered an omen considering West, who was born 5 years after the album's release. And also throw in that Kanye as being one of the first to tweet a tribute to Bowie after he died, and the fact that the album is called Black Star. That one's kind of crazy. and yeah, so this one, I mean, this is a really thin one,
It is.
but it is kind of interesting that he is standing below a sign that says K
Well,
West of all things. That was just the name of the whatever it was. But
and the thing is, though, are you sure that Kanye West didn't invent this conspiracy theory because he's got such a ego kind of? I mean, he's got delusions of grandeur, and I mean that's something that I think he would actually probably love to
perpetuate that whole
I mean,
theory.
I'm not sure if he would actually create the idea, but is his name really Kanye West, though, or is that his stage name?
I believe that's his birth name.
Okay, so I was gonna say, if it wasn't, then that could be very well be like
he was
saw the album
self-fulfilling prophecy.
But no, if that's his real name, then
yeah, Kanye West is his name. His real name is Kanye Omari West. Is his full name. So,
but here's an interesting theory, though. David Bowie was really in like a mystical character at that time.
Yeah.
So maybe he believed in his character so much that he actually became psychic and predicted the future by predicting Kanye West's birth 5 years ahead of time through just the sheer will of being Ziggy Stardust, So maybe he actually created Kanye West in some sort of, hey, if Kanye West can talk like this at the Oval Office about the multiverse theory and how, if he doesn't get some guy out of prison in this universe, then he's trapped somewhere else in some other universe where he's a prisoner. I'm allowed to talk about weird shit. So,
I'm not saying you're not.
If you're allowed to talk like this to the president at a press conference in front of dozens of officials, me and you at your apartment, can talk like this too. But I mean, if that's the standards we're going at, then we're actually okay here. So. But maybe... I
mean, it's just you and me, right?
Yeah.
It's not our listeners or anything.
No, they're not listening. They don't care what we say.
They tuned out already.
They've given up on me. No, but...
love you, folks. Love you.
Yeah. And I love Pop-Tarts, too.
Pop-Tarts are good.
Yes.
I almost bought some the other day, and I forgot to. I was grocery shopping, and the one thing I forgot to get was Pop-Tarts.
Damn.
Yes.
You know what's really good? I realized... I tried putting Skippy peanut butter, crunchy kind, on a strawberry Pop-Tart, and it was delicious.
Really?
2 great flavors mixed with one. 2 great products.
Yes. Skippy.
Crunchy peanut butter. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
2 great products that we would love to promote.
Yes. If you'd like to, you can contact me directly at mike@cullenpark.com, and, we'd be more than happy to let you sponsor us, Skippy, or Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. Okay, anyways, well, what's the next one here on this list here?
Okay, this one I don't know much about, but it says Lady Gaga killed Lou Reed. Why? Who knows? We all know, this is from the quote, we all know Lady Gaga is cray-cray. I hate that word so much. Anyway, but is she murder Lou Reed cray-cray? And they gotta say it again. Okay. According to the web, Gaga was enraged when Lou Reed was brought on to produce her album Art Pop, which she claimed was inspired by his former band Velvet Underground. However, the music icon was not impressed with the record and left the project. The next logical step to make, if you're sufficiently bananas, is that Gaga was so angry about Reed's dismissal of her work that she murdered him by injecting the singer with a poisonous substance that brought on liver disease.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
So, this one is certifiably crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I included it, though, because, I mean, there's not much more to it than that.
Yeah.
Basically, she got mad at him because he left the project and killed him.
I mean,
why?
and where does she get this weird mystery injection? What was it? Ricin? I mean, no, ricin gives you, like, flu.
I mean, I don't know what gives you liver disease, but yeah, I mean...
Is it alcohol?
It's not the... I mean, the fact that Lou Reed was an alcoholic and stuff doesn't have any kind of contribution to him getting liver disease.
Exactly. He's only been drinking and, like, doing heroin since, like, 1964. But, you know...
But it was Lady Gaga who killed him.
On a semi-regular basis, but... God. Whatever.
By the way, I love Lady Gaga.
Me
Okay,
too.
anyways,
Oh, me too. I'm just saying, it's ridiculous.
I just wanted to point that out. I really want to see A Star Is Born. I haven't seen it yet, but
oh yeah, me too.
yeah. I mean,
Looks like a
by
really
the time this probably airs, it'll be on DVD by then.
yeah.
But yeah, still, it's
Oh yeah, definitely. I want to see that.
Oh yeah. Anyways, the next one we have here is another wacko one, like most of these. Stevie Wonder isn't really blind.
Oh, that's unique.
Yeah. Perhaps one of the most disrespectful music conspiracy theories on the list, I would say. Many people insist that he has been faking his blindness the whole time. One of the quote unquote evidence that they have for this is there's a clip from a performance where Stevie Wonder caught a mic stand that Paul McCartney knocked over. And then there's also clips of him reading an envelope at an awards ceremony. And the fact that he does go to sporting events like, basketball games and things of that nature. Because we're just not allowed to let blind people go to basketball games.
Here's the take. Yeah, if you're seeing impaired or completely blind, don't bother trying to enjoy the finer things or even the nice little things of life, because why? What's the point? Like what?
I mean,
like you can't go. Don't go to the beach, and because you can't see the sun. Like don't. I mean, what?
What about all the people that listen to football and basketball games on the radio? Because we might as well just stop broadcasting radio games.
But they listen because they can picture, because they've seen an actual football game. That's their logic, right? That's what they're gonna say.
But I mean, the thing is, Wonder didn't go blind until a little bit, like until he was a child. He had already seen things in his life, so he does know.
It's even worse.
I mean, I'm sure he saw, like, in his lifetime before he went blind, a basketball or a football or a baseball game or something, and kind of can picture what's going on.
So it's even worse then. Yeah. I mean, it's such a disrespect. I mean, it is. Think about, like, you can't go to a sports game because you can't see what's happening. Well, you can hear what's happening, bozo. Oh yeah, but all you can hear is like crowds cheering, and I mean, like football, you can't really hear what's going on usually but basketball you can hear all the sneakers squeaking and.
And plus, I mean, who's not to say he just doesn't want to be there with his friends or family and
just enjoy the noise of it all, like people cheering and celebrating. It's such a disrespectful mentality of if you're blind, just stay at home, don't go anywhere, don't do anything.
I've gone to concerts where deaf people have been there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same
thing.
Vibrations. Yeah, and I mean, and the feel it. Anyways, feel the vibrations. Anyways, the but I mean, there's been they'll have I've seen it where they have an interpreter on the end of the stage, interpreting the songs. It's really funny when when there's a really fast rap song or something and they're trying to keep up. It's
I've seen it. I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah,
get pretty animated.
I've actually been to some of these concerts before where they've done this. I mean, I don't know if it was a rap one, but there's been some where it's pretty, pretty fast songs
pretty
and stuff.
Intense,
yeah, because I mean, I think I was at a Weird Al Yankovic concert and they had one time and it was just really But anyways, so yeah, this one I give a 0 out of 10. There's no way that he's not blind. I'm sorry. So what's the next one on our list here?
Oh boy, this one is certifiably insane. So it says John Lennon was murdered by horror writer Stephen King. What? Okay, so I'm quoting, when you feel so strongly that a famous horror writer killed one of the most famous musicians of all time that you need to print it on the side of your van? Yeah, us neither. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Us neither? Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Lightfoot, however, has no such reservations. On top of the standard conspiracy theorist blog, Lightfoot took it a step further and had his insane rambling sprayed all over his van. This theory is based on a photo of Mark Chapman, the real killer, getting his book signed by Lennon. Lightfoot insists It isn't Chapman in the photo, but the Carrie writer. It's interesting that like Stephen King's written so many other books, but he chose Carrie.
Carrie was like his first.
Was
book.
it? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So yeah,
I didn't even know he wrote Carrie, so that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, that's it. No further evidence required. Fair enough. He does look a bit like him, just not respray your van like him.
Yeah,
really.
This one's insane and funny as hell, in my opinion.
Stupid.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
whatever. Why would he do that though? Like, what would be the reason for doing it?
My theory, it was Jared Leto who time traveled and went back in time.
Yes.
Yes, because he was in that movie where he
was.
played. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
that movie was insane.
It was good though.
Like he played that character, so I couldn't even finish watching it because it was so creepy.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to that girl, like about like he was like talking to her like he was like almost like her like psychologist. Like you should go to Hawaii. You gotta do this for yourself. Like this pep talk and like this is like hours before he kills John Lennon. So it's just like it's so wild. Like
he was a crazy guy, Chapman. Obviously, but or still is. I mean, he's still alive. The
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he was up for parole recently and got denied again, which is good.
Yeah.
But and Leto gained so much weight for that movie that he ended up getting gout.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he did gain quite a bit of weight.
Yeah, he got gout, I guess I heard, from it. But yeah. Anyways,
I wish I could do that. Just gain weight and lose weight on demand.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't do that.
It's like the guy who plays Mac on on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. How he can go from being fat to skinny to like ripped like a freaking wrestler or something. It's just like, what the hell?
He must have like a super discipline. I guess if you're doing it for a project, it's easier though, because you're doing it with something specific in mind. Like,
and plus,
if a TV show or something.
Yeah. Plus, when you're a celebrity who has money and has the time to.
Like hire a chef who can,
and do whatever you need to do. You
don't have to prepare your own meals; just have someone do it for you. So
when you're not working a 40-hour a week job or something on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one that we have here. By the way, on that one, I give that a 0.
Oh, yeah.
I actually give it a negative 10 out of 10.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. The next one is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters never broke his leg.
Why would you fake that? Like that's like the most like that's like there's no stakes to that one. Like it's not like covering up a murder or oh you faked breaking his leg. Why? Because he wanted to get people to sign it. Oh, can you sign my cast? Like really? Anyway, sorry. Go
yeah, I mean he memorably broke his leg during a Foo Fighters concert in June of 2015, and then continued the tour by using a custom built throne. Or did he?
Oh, God.
A quickly spreading rumor that summer charged him with faking the injury in order to boost ticket sales. So I guess those are the stakes,
Yeah.
Because nobody in the world likes Foo Fighters.
Right.
They're only one of the most popular rock bands of all time. But yeah, let's just, fake a... Anyways, I don't know. During a September of 2015 stop in Portland, Oregon, Grohl addressed it, and he said, "I think it's fucking rad. What if I didn't break my fucking leg? What if I jumped off stage and fell onto the ground, and I made it look like it was a fucking emergency? And they dragged me off to the side." And the band kept playing, and then 10 minutes later, I magically fucking reappear on stage, and then I get somebody else's x-ray of a broken leg, and I make it into a t-shirt, and we make millions of fucking dollars, and I design this fucking awesome throne, so I don't have to fucking stand up anymore. Imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like really elaborate plan just to sit
down.
Yeah,
let's just like fake this whole thing just so we can get ticket sales. What? My thing is why would you pay more money to see him sitting down?
Exactly. I would think that less people would come to the show because it wouldn't be as exciting.
Yeah.
Like when James Hetfield, Metallica, when he got that whole pyrotechnic disaster and it burned like half of his face or whatever.
Yeah.
For a long time, he just had to sit down with a cast and just sing into a microphone when one of his roadies were playing the guitar.
Yeah, because he couldn't do it.
And you could tell that with a roadie. I mean, he was playing the right chords and everything, but you could tell by just his style.
There's
that
not the passion in it that Hetfield would have.
So it's like, yeah, I could sort of see the novelty of it. Like, I was at one of the concerts where he wasn't playing guitar, but like, did you enjoy it any better than
if you would if it was really him? Yeah. There's another like sub David Grohl theory here.
Oh wow.
Which is really insane. Some people seem to think that Grohl and Andrew WK, the singer songwriter DJ who rose to success with the song "Party Hard," are actually the same person.
Oh my god.
Okay.
They don't look anything like.
Here's the thing: they're both white dudes,
right?
With long hair.
That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, Andrew WK looks kind of like that guy from that movie that you sent the clip of, where he was like a serial killer, and he was holding that girl hostage. He was like basically just talking about like telling her of all of his kills. Like this one's from Minnesota. It was like a local film. You sent me like a little clip of like a trailer of some like horror movie like about a year ago.
That's a movie I actually directed and wrote.
Wow. Wow. I feel like an asshole.
No, that was that was what the hell did I call that movie?
I don't know.
Oh, Confession Daylight.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a movie, a short film I did that I'm actually remastering now, still to re-release. But yeah, that was my friend Jake Paluski, who was the star of that.
Like
yeah, I guess
and
he's a musician too. So
he could be Andrew WK.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I highly recommend check out Jake and the Venom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're a local band, and mainly it's just Jake. But Jake Paluski, look him up. He's also in other bands. But look up Jake Paluski on Spotify and stuff, and you'll find his stuff. And Jake and the Venom around, now that we mentioned him, he's probably one of my favorite musicians ever. He's an awesome dude. So shout out to Jake Paluski. Yeah. Anyways, who looks a little bit like Andrew WK.
I feel like such an asshole here, but
yeah, no, that's fine.
The takeaway though is that I remember the clip from like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and remember almost everything that happened in it. So there's that.
It's the one where he's got a girl tied up. Yeah, that's mine.
He's basically just like going through all of his kills, like, oh, this tastes like Kentucky or whatever.
Yeah,
something like
that. That was a completely improvised movie too. Like wow. I wrote the outline with Ryan A. Roth, another local musician, and then cast a local musician to play the part. Also, Dana Marie Giuliano starred in it too. Anyways, okay, so shout out to all of them. Anyways, so what's the next one that we have on here?
Oh boy, this is Iron Butterfly's bassist was kidnapped and murdered. This one's pretty dark. All right, so Philip Taylor Kramer joined Iron Butterfly in 1974 and appeared on the albums Scorching Beauty and Sun and Steel, both released in 1975. Later, he returned to college to earn a degree in aerospace engineering, and after dropping Philip from his name, worked for the U.S. Department of Defense and then his own high-tech multimedia startup company. He became a family man along the way, too. Then, authorities say, he suddenly committed suicide. The details remain darkly intriguing. Kramer went to LAX to pick up an associate in 1995, while reportedly in the midst of developing a groundbreaking method of transporting information and matter through space. Soon after that, Kramer suddenly called 911 to report that he intended to kill himself, then vanished. 4 long years passed as family members strenuously argued that foul play was involved. Finally, Kramer's 1993 Ford Aerostar van was found by hikers at the bottom of a Malibu ravine with his remains inside. Police ruled it a probable suicide, but others weren't so sure, in particular because of the revolutionary work Kramer was then doing. Taylor, quote, Taylor had told me a long time before there was people giving him problems, Kramer's father argued. They wanted what he was doing, and several of them had threatened him. He told me if I ever say I'm gonna kill myself, don't you believe it.
This one actually
This
sounds.
one actually,
It sounds possibly legit.
Like the whole secret
Yeah.
government project and shit like that, and yeah.
This one I give a 9 out of 10.
I would say, yeah.
I'm giving it a really high score because I kind of believe that maybe he, especially with his father saying that, you know, if I say I'm going to kill myself, don't believe it.
Right. And plus, too, why if you're going to kill yourself, why would you call someone to say that you're going to kill yourself?
Yeah.
And not just do it.
Yeah.
And then vanish. Like, what would be your? I mean, I guess you could say the person was having just like a freak out mental state or whatever by doing those kind of contradictory things, but it seems kind of weird that you would go call 911 and say you're going to do something, which they know they're going to send someone, then try to prevent you from doing that very thing that you want to do. I don't know. And then just vanish.
Seems kind of far-fetched, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's like the whole thing with like David Kelly, from the UK back in 2003, with the whole like WMDs in Iraq thing.
Yeah,
he kept talking to his girlfriend, who at the time was actually, who worked in the CIA, I think, American CIA, and he kept talking to her, in private about like how he couldn't stomach what he was doing anymore because he had seen what some of the effects of like radiation were doing to like the children in Iraq or whatever, and he kept saying privately, I can't deal with this silence anymore. I'm gonna have to tell someone, and then he ends up quote committing suicide like 3 weeks later.
Yeah,
and then interestingly, he was actually a Baha'i, so then there was the whole aspect of that involved, like where because he wasn't like really involved in politics, maybe he's, I don't know, like because there's the whole like
the Baha'i faith is a religion, by the way, in case you aren't aware of that if you're listening here.
And even though it's like non-political, like governments have actually like basically done like intel on the communities throughout the countries to like see if they're like some like insidious organization or whatever. I mean, they never. There's
a lot of theories about the Baha'i faith being, which I mean, and in full disclosure, I am Baha'i, but yeah, still the thing is, it's
that whole
kind of
thing.
Any theory can be, hold some weight, I guess, but still, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. This one just seems interesting, like because.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kramer might have been killed and made to look like a suicide.
Huh. The next one, not so sure about.
Okay, the next one is another one where the CIA killed Bob Marley. Even if the official account of Bob Marley's death is pretty weird, he died in May of 1981 after a toe injury from a soccer match revealed a lesion under his nail. Diagnosed with a malignant melanoma. Marley refused to have the toe amputated. The cancer spread throughout Marley's body, eventually killing him. Now, conspiracy theorists say it wasn't that simple. The CIA supposedly set their sights on Marley, whose growing influence and message of peace went contrary to its goals. Because, I mean, I'd say what you want about the CIA, but I'm pretty sure they want peace in the world, too, even though they do a lot of things, but I don't think, I'm just saying. The son of a former CIA director, William Colby, reportedly gave Marley a pair of boots adapted with a poisonous-coated copper wire near the toe. Some believe that Marley tried on the boots and inadvertently sealed his demise. Others believe the CIA had already tried to take Marley out with sharpshooters who missed their target. Marley had, in fact, survived a 1996 assassination attempt by 3 gunmen at his home in Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah, I highly recommend. There's this podcast I listen to called Behind the Bastards. No, not that one. I'm sorry. No, Behind the Bastards is not it. Disgraceland. Sorry. Listen to Behind the Bastards as well. It's a good one, too, about all these, creepy CIA and all these other things. But the one that I listen to, Disgraceland, they have an episode about Bob Marley, and they go into a lot of this stuff. They don't go into the CIA trying to kill him thing, but they do go into the assassination attempt on him and things of that nature. it's really, really in depth and more than we can get into here. But I recommend checking that out. It's a really good podcast, anyways. Disgraceland. Okay, so this one I don't buy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility maybe a 1 out of 10, but it's just still.
Well, it's so bizarre. I mean, it's like you're saying before, like someone had already tried an assassination attempt by 3 gunmen, but to like make some weird shoe, it just I don't know. It seems
that
weird,
seems.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I know that they make weird items, like back in the day with like spy pens and stuff that could shoot like poison at you or whatever. But like, I don't know.
It's kind of crazy.
If anything, I would think it would be the Jamaican government that would be trying to assassinate him more so than the U.S. government.
Yeah, well,
the Jamaican government was very much opposed to Bob Marley. And
if you listen to this episode of Disgraceland that I was talking about, there is a lot of stuff with the CIA actually involved in certain things with the Jamaican government at that time, because there was some a lot of political stuff. I can't remember most of it, but it's really interesting. It's an interesting listen. I might actually go back and re-listen to it sometime. It's but there were a lot of a lot of political stuff going on, and I mean a lot of it did have to do with the Jamaican government, but there was a lot of American influence on a lot of things there too. So, because some of the government wanted more peaceful means, and some of it didn't, and I don't know. It's kind of scary either way, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't really buy that the CIA killed him. What's the next one here that we got on the list?
This one is Hotel California was about devil worship. The Eagles' chart-topping 1977 single, Hotel California, has long been associated with Satan. You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
With Satanism in certain circles. The lyrics, dotted with a vain attempt to kill a beast, specific references to hell, and an admonition that guests may never leave, probably got this rumor started. The gatefold image inside certainly didn't help. There, the Eagles members and a group of fans are seen standing in the courtyard of a Spanish-style inn. Above them, on a balcony, looms a mysterious figure who some theorize, is Anton LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan. The photographs, according to one theory, were taken on the church grounds. Some of the elements of this theory even made their way into the mainstream media sources, including the Milwaukee Sentinel. The shadowy figure was, in fact, a woman hired for the photo shoot, and they were definitely not at LaVey's church. The cover shot is from the Beverly Hills Hotel, while the gatefold photo was taken at a then newly renovated inn called the Lido on the corner of Yucca Street and Wilcox Avenue in Hollywood. The hotel was later turned into an apartment complex. I mean,
I've heard this theory, and I've actually seen video and footage on YouTube where they try to say that is Anton LaVey, but I don't buy it one bit.
I've always heard theories that the song was about death. That was the main one I had heard.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because if you listen to the lyrics, and I mean, that might be what the song's about, but I don't think there's any kind of Satanism.
Yeah, I never got that from the song. Just the idea, like, you can check in, but you can never check out.
And even if the song is about devil worship, I don't think it's Anton LaVey on the cover. I mean, on the gatefold or the album or whatever. Yeah.
And plus, too, if they wanna get really specific into this, Anton LaVey's Church of Satan is an atheistic religion.
Yeah, they don't really worship
believe
Satan.
In a demonic force. Yeah, it's all symbolic to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like the animalistic forces within humanity, that those things should be celebrated rather than suppressed, as most of the religions teach.
Yeah, because I mean, most like the Church of Satan specifically, they do things like put up statues in front of courthouses and stuff like that because they just want to prove the point that having the Ten Commandments in front of the thing is kind of ridiculous because of the separation of church and state, and people. And they're doing it as an atheistic sort of thing, or just as some of them might even believe in God too. They might just be members of the church just because they want to prove political aspects
Right.
wrong, not necessarily religious aspects of things wrong.
It's you either, you know, yeah, you either become like almost like a Hindu about it and just all religion or no religion.
Yeah.
But you can't have both. You can't have it one way where only 10 commandments. No. I want a statue of like Hindu laws. No. Well, it's like so it's either all or none. I mean, really, you can't have it.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't understand that the United States is not a Christian country. Right. We were founded on the fact that we were, escaping a country that enforced religion on their people.
Right. And most of the founding fathers were Freemasons, and at that time, being a Freemason was hated by most religious people. And so,
I mean, and a lot of the founding fathers weren't even Christians, so they were like universalists and other things.
Right.
It's just it's
Benjamin Franklin was a deism.
Yeah,
which believes that there is a God, but the God created the world, a universe, and then just left everyone to do what they wanted.
Yeah,
it's like
we need to
God.
Do an episode on Benjamin Franklin sometime because that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Talk about conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Dude. Anyways. So okay, the next one that we're going to cover here is Debbie Harry was abducted by a serial killer. Okay, Blondie singer Debbie Harry is certain she was picked up by somebody she swears was Ted Bundy. Mm-hmm. And this is an interesting thing because this is a theory perpetuated by the subject of the theory. Yeah. Yeah. During a late night walk on New York City's Lower East Side in the early 70s, she says, "I took a ride because I couldn't get a cab." She told this to ABC News in 2003. But Harry immediately began to sense something wasn't right. "I looked down and there were no door handles," she said in a 2010 interview with The Telegraph. Inside, the inside of the car was stripped. The hairs on the back of my neck just stood up. Increasingly concerned about the man's demeanor, Harry reached out of the window and opened the door and then almost got run over by a cab after jumping out, she told ABC. Harry didn't decide that a strange encounter was actually with Bundy until 1989 when he was executed. She began sharing the story with the news media not long after. The problem, Bundy wasn't known to have visited the Big Apple then or at any other time in his life. He didn't officially begin his abduction and murder spree until early 1974, and those first crimes took place in the West Coast. Later, Bundy escaped to Florida from a Colorado jail before he was finally caught again in the late 70s.
But who knows? I mean,
he could have. I mean, he's just not known to have been in New York, but he could have. Who knows? Or it could just be, either way. I'm pretty sure that Debbie Harry was smart to get out of that fucking car.
Yeah. No door handles, really.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
But if that was his plan, though, then he was stupid to have the windows open.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe
who knows?
Maybe the car was just a piece of shit.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, maybe the handles just fell off, but still, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, I don't think I would have stayed in that car either.
Whenever
if I was
you
her.
feel like that you're in danger, you should just take precaution.
It's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, the guy that picked her up could have been a perfectly fine human being, but who knows? It's. Yeah. But I mean, I'd say like a 2 in 10 chance that might have been Bundy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, we got a last one here for this episode, and I think we're going to cover more conspiracy theories in a future episode.
Yeah.
This one's getting kind of long, so that's why I want to cut it off. We do have a lot that we can cover, but we'll just cover one more for today, and then we'll have a part 2 for you guys with maybe some added bonus type stuff in the future.
Ooh, yeah. All right, this one is Kiss blood ended up in Sports Illustrated. Okay, I'm not sure. It says this was weird. All right, so it said Kiss has never been shy about merchandising, publicity stunts, or a bit of very dark humor. Kiss casket, anyone? So the idea that they added vials of their own blood to the vat of red ink before publishing the super special Kiss comic book in 1977 made its own kind of kissy sense. The story went that they flew to Marvel's printing facility in upstate New York, had their blood drawn by a registered nurse, and then added it before a notary public who served as an official witness. But then it got weird, or weirder. Supposedly a mix-up with the red ink meant that the blood-tainted red ended up being used for a run of Sports Illustrated magazine instead. There's no proof that the special ink was ever used for any other purpose. Also, while we're here, KISS is not an acronym for Knights in Satan's Service, and Gene Simmons didn't have a cow's tongue grafted onto his own.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, the whole blood thing is true. They did. There was a Kiss comic book that they did for Marvel where they did. It was actually known to be printed with the blood of Kiss in it.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember reading about this before a long time ago, but I'd never heard before reading this the whole Sports Illustrated mix-up thing. I mean, I could see this actually happening, though. I mean, there's a possibility it could have happened. Because a lot of magazines are all printed at the same place, so the comic book and Sports Illustrated were probably printed in the same facilities, and
yeah, that's wild.
It could have happened. You know, somebody could be sitting there reading about the New York Jets and not realize that the red in any of the pictures was blood from Kiss or something.
But that does sound kind of satanic, ritually, kind of, you know, like put your blood into writing, and then now you're like.
But the thing is, with Kiss, along with like Alice Cooper and all these other types of artists of that time, and even today with like Marilyn Manson and stuff, most of the stuff is just for show. I mean, it's not even. There's nothing real behind it. It's just. You know, and of course they'd lean into it because, you know, it's going to sell more comic books or whatever, and you're going to get more money if you say, hey, this really has Gene Simmons and, you know, the other guy's blood in it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, this one I believe more than any one it could possibly have happened. It's not as far-fetched or crazy, actually, even though it involves Kiss's blood. But, so, anything else you want to add here before we close up this, I don't know, episode?
This All2ReelToo. I was going to try to say it. All2 conspiracy. No, it's stupid.
Yeah.
All2ReelToo, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I don't think I've got any. I got some more for
the future episodes.
Yeah, but not for this one.
Yeah, so we're gonna do at least a part 2, maybe a part 3 if we get to that. These are really kind of fun, I think, to talk about. So you know, if you have any that we didn't cover in this episode or anything, and you'd like to, you know, tell us about it, feel free to email us at All2ReelToo at gmail.com, or email me personally at mike@cullenpark.com, and we'll talk about them in the future. Anyways, have fun, enjoy life, and don't be afraid to get All2ReelToo. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.